About like that 28 degree below zero day that we had the other day. It was below zero, I know that. And I had to unload sheet metal out of a box car of a train. With the thing was full of sheet metal, and there were about 6 or 8 of us up in the box car, and one piece of sheet metal was heavy. You know, it was thin but heavy, and bulky, and I had to unload that and bring it down, take it into the plant. And somebody said, "There's coffee in here." I'd never had coffee before, and I thought, I don't want any of that stuff. So I stayed out there. Finally, I decided, well, dummy, you better go in. It's warm in there. You better go in there and see what's going on inside and have a cup of coffee. So I did, and it was horrible. I about threw up when I took the first cup, but it was warm. So I thought, well, I'll be okay. So that was unloading steel, my first job down there. Well, I'd been working. Then I worked in summers in the plant, and then in this.
Like it though?
Huh?
You didn't like it?
Yeah, I didn't mind it. It was okay, but so then where was I going to go with this?
Working the plant.
Yeah.
You didn't talk about that garage job.
Okay, yeah, that's where I was going to go with it. So then Dad had so much stuff that he had to do down at the plant during the war that he decided that he was going to use me and another guy, Howard Scott, Monkey's uncle, and we had a garage behind our house there on the motel site, and he fixed us up in that garage. And Amy, I was making about $7 an hour back when $1 an hour was a lot of money.
Wow.
And it was called what you call piecework, and the amount of pieces that you'd get done is what you were paid by.
Yeah.
And he and I, this other guy, we were making it's something that you use to clean a rifle with, and I went to Korea, but it's the end handle for a rod that you push into the rifle to clean it, and we made the end handle, and we had to put three holes in it. He would drill 2, and I would drill 1, and in order to drill these holes in the right places, you put it in what they call a jig, and you tighten it up, and then you pull down and you drill it. Him twice and me once. He'd throw it over to me, and I'd take it out and I'd put it in my jig and tighten it up, and I'd drill my 1 hole. After he drilled his 2 holes, I'd take the piece out and throw it into a bucket. Those pieces were then counted, and we got paid upwards of $7 to $8 an hour because of the number that we were doing. And my girlfriends all thought, this guy's gonna make a lot of money. I better date him. Well,
Oh, brother.
one of those girls, I got to tell you this, then I'm going to quit talking. One of those girls was a girl named Judy Johnson, and Judy.
This is a good story.
Judy was a really sweet girl, and I liked her a lot. And she lived pretty close to Maxie's Drive-In. House is still there.
Loyal girl.
Yeah, she's loyal. and so anyway, I had a date with Judy on a Friday night, and I took her to the movie, and I spent 15 cents each to get in the movie. We had some popcorn, just 1 box, because that was 5 cents, and so I'm up to about 40 cents now between me and her and the movie, and then we go out to Maxie's, and they had tenderloins there. They were
Remember
wonderful.
where that was?
35 cents each. 30. No. It's out not by the Barnstormer.
Barnstormer.
The restaurant's still there next to the Barnstormer. That little one.
It was like a drive.
That little one's. That's the same place.
Yeah.
Same place that we used to go. It's still there. So anyway,
Really?
I take her out there, and then I also I probably spent at least 15 cents worth of gas on her that night. So I'm upwards of 75 cents now. We go out there, we each have a tenderloin, 35 cents each. So I'm about $1.25 in the whole deal. So 11 o'clock at night, I decide that I'm going to take her home like a proper guy should. So I took her home, I gave her a kiss at the door, and I said, thanks so much, Judy, this was a wonderful evening. She said the same thing to me. So I go back to the doggone Maxie's, and some of my friends were there, and they said, let's go out to the park and see what's going on out there. Well, the Gibson Woods was not there, but all the woods was there. And there was a road that went meandered back in there, and I had a little coupe with a spotlight on it, and we would go out there and we would shine this spotlight on see who was out there, and you'd shine and that was our game for the particular night. So I'd go out there and I'd shine the spotlight on a couple cars, and somebody'd pop up, and I shined the spotlight on one of those cars, and who pops up but Jim Mills and Judy Johnson? And I thought to myself, what the heck happened here? Jim Mills was one of my good friends that was about a year older than me. He was on the football team. And
your girlfriend.
And my girlfriend. Well, not necessarily my girlfriend, but the girl I had dated that night. And I'd spent $1.50 on her.
Did you ever say anything to her after that?
I don't think I ever said anything to her, but I said a lot to him.
I bet you did.
I said a lot to him. And
Well,
you know what he said to me?
thank
You know what his
you.
answer was?
$1.70.
When I said to him, what the heck were you doing with my girl? He said, well, you couldn't make her happy, so I had to make her happy.
Them fighting words.
Isn't that terrible? Isn't that terrible?
Well,
That sounds like him.
Anyway, he's dead now, and so is she. I took care of both of them.
that makes it all better.
So Bob got the
I
last
took care of
laugh.
both of them.